Welcome to Comic Book School Live, the show about the craft and business of making comics. Mike's happy. Deanna, you look very concerned tonight.
I'm focused.
Is that what it is? You're locked in?
I'm locked in and ready.
You are locked in and ready. You do look a little like there's something going on in there.
This
are
is
you
called.
Are you multitasking right now?
No, this is called. I'm officially on summer vacation.
Wow.
And I'm slightly like I don't understand what to do with all of this quiet because I don't have 22 dysregulated kindergartners in front of me.
Well, you got Mike.
Yeah, that's enough.
Mike seems like one of your students that's had a little too much sugar.
Yeah, times him by like 20, and there you go.
Yeah.
I need some sugar.
All right, so we have a very good show tonight, guys. We're going to be talking about how to write an 8-page story using Scrivener, and I am... Oh, hello, Victor. Nice to see you. Welcome back. Victor's been posting some good stuff.
Lots of hellos from everybody so far.
Hey, heck.
Oh, new comic book day. Jeff's there. Mike, you read it out. You do the readout.
I did the readout. Hey, Kevin PS41.
Kevin is one of the comic book school OGs.
Oh.
Yeah.
OG.
Yep. No more comments. No one cares anymore.
That's it.
Okay,
That's all we got.
Who cares?
All right.
But we do have an announcement, though, bud.
Oh, go ahead, Mike.
We are. This is our first episode sponsored by Scrivener.
Yeah.
They were kind enough to sponsor.
So we chose Scrivener. We'll get into why we chose Scrivener, but Scrivener is a tool that I pay for. I own it. They were like, do you need a free copy? I'm like, I do not. I actually own it. So I'll show you tonight about how I use Scrivener, actual use case, and then how you as comic book creators can use Scrivener to write your stories. But first, let's set up our credibility. Mike, establish our credibility for us. Where do you want to start?
Right. I'm gonna establish a credibility starting with you, bud.
All right, let me zoom in.
Okay, you ready for this?
Yeah, you go.
I got it. Buddy Scalera.
Yeah.
He's a comic book writer, a publisher, an educator, a former journalist, and the founder of Comic Book School.
That's right.
He's written. He's written comics for Marvel and also written and published many of his own books. Yeah, there it is. That's what you get for me today.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
No,
There's two other hosts, Mike.
Then there's me. I got two screens going here. Sorry. Me, Mike Fasolo. I've written for Robot Chicken, SpongeBob, Spider-Man, a whole slew of other animated shows. I've written comics and novels. I've won 3 Emmys, 2 Annies, and I have a passion for making weird, wild, and wacky things come to life on screen.
That's right, Mike. And that's not just your OnlyFans account. That's you.
And then we have Deanna Destito, managing editor of TheBeat.com, and our only Eisner winner. She is a journalist, a novelist, and the best one on the show because she actually knows what she's doing.
Thank you.
She has some street cred, Mike. She elevates the show, the school in general.
I make it classy. I make it a
Yes.
little classy up in here.
You do make it classy, Deanna. You do make it classy. And it was funny. I met Deanna many years ago and immediately forgot that I met her. So
That's such an impression I made.
but I did re-meet her a couple weeks ago, Mike, and I will confirm I am the shortest member of the comic book school team.
It's official.
Yep. We all have our things, but
We have our role. We play our role. Deanna's a writer, you're a writer, I'm a writer, and tonight we'll be talking about writerly things and how to write an 8-page story. Mike, I'm gonna throw it over to you. Why do we continually talk about 8-page stories?
because that's always a good place to get your foot in the door for comics. Because you don't have to write the full 22-page story, which is usually reserved for, the higher ups, people who know what they're doing. And, you can get into a bunch of different anthologies. And it's just one of the, I don't want to say easier, but, one of the easier things to start off with.
And Deanna, how about you? You've contributed quite a few anthologies, right?
Yeah, I actually to write in the short form, and I specifically write in short form a lot, both in comics and in short stories, prose. I think it's a good challenge for any writer because you'd only have so many places that you can go on. You have to build your story in a very concise way, and it helps you as a writer trim the fat. It makes you hone your skills so you know where your focus is and how to build that story and not get caught up in stuff. When you just go for long form, especially when you're a little bit inexperienced, sometimes you get lost in your own world, where the short form forces you as a writing exercise to keep it together.
I think that's an excellent description. And one of the things that we find when we go to cons is you're talking to a creator, somebody who's passionate about it, and they're saying, oh, this is going to be like Lord of the Rings. It's a 5-book trilogy.
It's ambitious.
Those 5-book trilogies, those are tough to get through.
Yeah.
Aren't they? You're like,
that math ain't mathin'.
And yet you say, there's no way you're going to get 5 books unless you capture them immediately with, the first story. And are we still online?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why?
Are we? Oh, okay.
Oh, hey, Edwin. Edwin's new.
Yeah,
Edwin's new. Do you know how to play the welcome to our newest
Welcome, Edwin.
You're welcome, Glitter.
Whenever somebody's a first timer, they get the magical twinkle sound. Thank you, intern. Intern's off to the corner.
Yay, sponsors. Yes, yay, sponsors. Exactly, Victor.
An A can.
Oh, and there's Andrew. G'day. He should have put g'day, not.
Poor Andrew.
I'm going to see if we can zoom in. I just want to show you what intern looks like right now. Let me stop sharing screen and make me big. This is intern in the corner of my office.
Nice.
Yeah, he's fully loaded. I mean, he has a setup better than mine, I think.
I hope he doesn't pack that up whenever he leaves, or
He packs it up every time.
Buddy's the Wolverine of CBS.
Yes.
Is that a good thing?
Well, because Wolverine is a short king.
He's also the best he is at what he does.
Short King, thank you for saving me, Deanna.
Yep, I got you.
Yeah, you got my back on that one, right? All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to get into writing an 8-page story. For reference, I've talked about Apocalypse Blvd. I'm going to formalize it by explaining that Apocalypse Blvd is a little bit like the Fast and the Furious, but with monsters in a post-apocalyptic world. I really wanted to do something post-apocalyptic, something with cars. Mike, you remember the genesis of this. This happened pre-COVID. Those first 2 issues on the left were pre-COVID, and then during COVID, I wrapped it up. I kickstarted these. I did this with Donnie. Sorry, Donnie, I'm going to get your name pronounced incorrectly. Donnie's from Indonesia. Hadi with Jaja. I'm going to do my best there. But Donnie did a wonderful job with Apocalypse Blvd. You can even see the trade dress changed from the first 2 issues, and then up here there was a different. Then we put the graphics on the top. These were never intended to go to comic shops. They were fully intended to be kickstarted. After the Kickstarter, I've never made them available, but now they are available in my Patreon. I'll send you a link for that. But basically what you need to know is this is a 4-issue miniseries. It is about a street racer named Rat who is driving a car really fast through the apocalypse. They are there to deliver much needed supplies, medical equipment, communications equipment, and he's joined by MK, his girlfriend, who is the shooter. So they have a driver and a shooter, and they are transporters, and they're fighting mythical creatures, including harpies and minotaurs. So that is basically what you need to know. It's a 4-issue miniseries. First 2 issues, I think, are 20. The first 3 issues are like 24 pages, and I think the last issue, I just went crazy, 40 pages. So altogether, it's a 115-page story. But I wanted to try to do an 8-page backup. And one of the reasons I'm doing this is because I'm getting ready to work on my next 8-page Apocalypse Blvd longer form story. And for those of you who've watched the show in the past, you know that I've created this handy dandy graphic that shows Page 1 is your right-hand page, 2 and 3 are facing pages. And what I did was, I did this all the way to 22 pages. It's available on the Comic Book School website, but I'll also put it on the Patreon so that you have it. And then just to focus my eyes, I just gray out the things that I'm not using. I want to know that I'm ending and having the right facing pages. Before I go on, any commentary, Deanna, do you do anything like this? Do you know your facing pages when you're writing a story?
Yeah, I mean, I try, especially if I know there's a page limit, like I know that it's going to be a shorter. Sometimes if it's a part of an anthology that I'm not creating, you're handed a count. They said you have 8 pages to do this. So I already know going in where my 8 pages are going to be. I know where my facing pages are, and this way I can break down my script. If it's for me, it depends on the story. Sometimes I don't. I tried a couple of ways to see how many pages I actually do need. Like, for example, one of my issues for my Quiet Corners is coming out soon, and I'm writing a script for it, and I didn't know if it was going to be 4 pages or 6 pages, so I kind of did 2 versions of it because I wasn't sure just how much space I needed. So that's kind of how and then I can kind of play with it to see what I need. I like to have, especially with horror, I like to have the reveal, the last page.
You want to know what the pages are.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things when I'm really working on something, I will print this out and I'll put it to the side of my monitor. There's been times where I've made it my desktop and just locked it up to the right. I really need to know the pages. That's just something that I need. Mike, when you are writing without any plan, how do you know what the facing pages are?
I just go.
You just go.
I just go. And I mean, I obviously, the first page is, a facing page. But otherwise I just do it and I get it all mapped out. And then once it's done, then I can go back and fix things that I need to. I need to have a cliffhanger on this page.
We're gonna help you, Mike, to be a lot more structured.
How often do you have to water the intern?
How often do we have to water you?
Is he like a cactus?
Get a bottle of water room temperature. They really like you, Stu.
Yeah. Looks a lot of sun, so maybe once a week. Just throw up some snacks.
Okay, so we get from plot. What's that?
Oh, I showed it to my kid in summer comic book camp, and your templates, they're templates and tricks.
Oh.
He's using them in the camp.
Thank you,
sorry, it's Redheaded Ed. She's using them. Yeah.
Yeah, Redheaded Ed used this extensively when she and Kevin both contributed to the anthology that we published. So, we've gone through this many a times. The output is generally in this format. I am working with an artist, Darren Sanchez, set up the artist, and we are working together. So the output looks like this, and in general, it'll either be a Word doc or a Google Doc. You're going to find all of this in Patreon. Most of it's going to be free, but as we start to go along and we start to show art, the paid tiers will start to get access to certain materials that are unavailable to everyone else. And also, if you are interested, I have, for the first time since this was published in 2023, made this available. I rarely go to conventions. The last convention I went to was with Deanna, and Deanna, how often was I at the table?
I don't think I saw you the whole day.
Yeah, I'm not there to sell. I'm there to hang out and talk to people. So if you really are interested in Apocalypse Boulevard and you live in Australia or New Zealand or even in New Jersey, you're probably going to find it easier to get it through here because I'm just not there to sell it. And
poor Stu was like, I don't know.
So yeah, so if you're interested in this, I think the best thing you can do is probably get this off of Patreon. And if you're interested, it's 115 pages. I'm not here to sell that, but I am here to tell you that, as we noted, you'll be able to get this 20% off, Mike?
20% off.
20% off. It's actually pretty inexpensive. I think it's like $100 and something, so it's not even that much money. I'm going to show you this screenshot. This is probably the key screenshot, and then I'll get into the...
Buddy doesn't table, he ghosts his table. Finding Buddy at a con is like chasing the Flash's shadow.
Yeah, Redheaded Ed 1 year at New York Comic Con did a thing where she said, if you find Buddy, you get a prize. Yeah,
That's a good game.
Nobody found me.
Where's Waldo? Where's Buddy?
It was definitely Where's Waldo. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to get right into this, and I am going to share the actual screen. I do a lot of moving around here.
Shouldn't the
And
intern be doing this?
no, it's on my computer. Okay,
Uh,
so this is the application, and there are a number of ways that you can look at it. What you'll first thing you'll notice is that I think it's a little undersaturated, a little hard to see, but you can see that you have this view where you have index cards essentially that give you a brief description of everything that's happening in the comic. You also have this ability to make just a vertical version. I like color coding things, and I'm going to talk to you guys as writers. Now, I know that in an 8-page story, I've got a setup, so I just progressively change the colors. So I just put the setups in green with my establishing, and you can see there's a small slug line. Rat and MK, those are our heroes. This might be a little too small. I don't know is this too small to see?
pretty small.
I
It's
can't.
pretty
Yeah, I
small. Let
can't
me,
see
let me
that.
see if I shrink this window. Does it seem to get any bigger?
It's a little better.
Is that a little better?
I would do the shrinking thing again, yeah. Or can you? Yeah, can you expand it?
Is this a little easier to read now?
It's a little
Little
better.
A little bit.
Better. I feel like I'm at the eye doctor. Better.
1, 2.
All right. So I kind of color coded this to show my setup, which was in green, and then the car fire is my inciting incident, and that's a light orange, and then this goes to a more saturated orange where I talk about the escalation, and then in the next couple of pages, I have the climax. Now, because I squeezed it, I seem to have squeezed out the numbers, but it does number. Now, this is on the side here. You can jump to any page. When you go to this view, you can either look at this in the corkboard layout like this, where you see what's on the fire escalation. So I'm like, all right, let me jump to page 3, and now I've got page 3, panel 1, and I've got all of my setup. Now I know it's a little tricky to see, and it'll be a little bit tight, but I'm going to show you something that's very, very helpful to me. So you can do a split screen. So now you can see I've split my screen. On the left, I've got the list. On the right, I'm going to change this, and I'm just going to pull up my facing pages. Now I can write like this and actually say, all right, I'm jumping in to page 3, and now I know that page 3 is a right-hand facing page. And then I'm like, okay, I'm just going to get into this, and I'm just going to start working. And right there, I've given myself that opportunity to look where I'm at. I've got the slug on the top, which is fire, escalate, and establish base, right? So I'm like, fire, escalate, establish base, and I'm like, all right, I'm done with the next one. Now watch on this side where I jumped to page 4, and I've just jumped to page 4. And I'm like, all right, let me just check my facing pages again. I'm just going to do this real quick. Okay, now I'm on a left-hand page. And what this does for me is it really helps me to establish what we're talking about. Now, we're establishing that we have a Firebird, which is the car, and I'm like, okay, let me just get some research. So what I've done is I'm like, okay, let me give my artist a whole bunch of images. I've got a link, and then basically all I did was I went to a car show, I took some photos on my own, and then I just poached some images off the internet. This hood scoop is part of the 8-page story. There's a fire in the car, and they have to put the fire out using a fire stick, not a fire extinguisher. And the way they do it is through the hood scoop of the car, but they're driving 70 miles an hour. So what I need to do is set up what is happening both outside the car and inside the car and the approximate size. I'm also, as I'm doing this, I'm talking about, okay, this is the scene with the fire stick. And I'm like, okay, I've got the fire stick. I need the artist to understand what I'm talking about when I talk about a fire stick. I've got the URL of the fire stick. Okay, let me expand that. Okay, this is what the fire stick looks like. This is the particular model. And then I have a video that I found on YouTube that literally shows how a fire stick is opened on a Mustang that's on fire. It breaks my heart. It's the same Mustang I owned. It's not my Mustang, fortunately, but they did save the Mustang. Interestingly enough, this fire extinguisher that the person here has in the corner was not nearly as effective as this little stick, which is used, I believe, by NASCAR or something. They're so portable, but it shows how it opens up and then how it blows the smoke and literally has its own flame, and it shows how the driver was able to get underneath the car. So what I'm doing here is now establishing also where in the car you would keep this. So a fire stick would go where a fire extinguisher goes. So I provided that photo reference, and now we're starting to say like, oh, okay, this is starting to come together. This is what it would look like. Now I'm giving my artist all the information they need. So I've got my establishing set up. I talk about what they're doing. I talk about what kind of car they're driving. I talk about the car. And now this is how I'm starting to build out. I'm going to pause right now because I'm sure there's some questions.
Redheaded Ed, I live on Pinterest for image inspiration for comics, both uploads and captures, because I can reference where the credit goes. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
well,
great. Show you
and that's the
reference.
thing about, and that's a great piece of advice. This allows me to have all of my reference saved inside of the document. And that's the hack that for me, and Deanna, I don't know if you do this, like if you have a reference of a specific location or a house, you're creating a folder or you're going to Pinterest or you're doing it as attachments. What is amazing about the way this software works for me is that it's all in the same place. Like as you can see, I just have a folder called research. When I don't need it, I just fold it up and I just focus, right? So I'm here, I've got my breakdown. I can look at this as cards. I can jump to any particular scene I want. And you can see it is numbered. You can see the numbering is, oh, that's page 5, Kickstart My Heart. I'm like, okay, let me just go back over here. I can look at this, and then, like I said, I can always just go back at any point and just be like, what's my facing page? It can be either side. I'm like, okay, there it is. Page 5 is a right-hand page. Fine, let me go back to writing. Okay, I want to go back to this scene, and there I am in the scene.
That's impressive. I didn't know that you could do all of that in
That's pretty impressive.
Scrivener.
All,
Put the pictures in.
Yeah, no, it keeps it all in one spot, which is nice. Also in the software, how do you share it or version it when you are working together as a team? On a team, excuse me.
That's a good question. So my particular way of working, and it's not to say it's right or wrong, but I prefer to keep a literal version, like I will save as. It does have functionality, which is kind of amazing, and you can get to it right here, where let's say I'm gonna go over here. I'm just gonna save this, and Deanna, you're gonna love this as a fellow writer.
Okay.
I'm in this scene right now, and I know I want to rewrite this, so I just tell it snapshot of this scene right here, and I'm just gonna edit, and I'm just gonna say kickstart heart last edit with show. Okay, now this is actually saved the entire page, everything. If I go in here and start to edit, if I were like this and I said we are now switching scenes, and this is pretty wild. Okay, now I've got this. I can go back and I can do a comparison. So I can do a track changes right inside of the document. You know, it's a little hard to see, but now you're looking, you're like, wow, this was truly written by writers for writers. So when we think about what our, because I have OCD, I have to put it back. Actually, within here, I'll just do this. I'll just roll it back. I'm going to roll it back. Hold on. There it is. That's it. It just rolled back. Okay. So now we rolled it back. So what we have now is I have version 2A. I like to keep a discrete version. I had written this. I had gotten some feedback from Elisa Quitney, who's been on our show, and Elisa Quitney, and I'll give you a little bit of information about that, told me that I need to improve the way I write women characters. And she is an expert, and she has put me on a training regimen.
I love
I'm
it.
sorry, this is too small. I'm so sorry. Uh, were you able to see that? That was the snapshot functionality where you were able to see the snapshot and the changes. But Elisa said that I was not good at writing women characters, so this is version 2A where I wrote the POV, not from Rat, who is the male character, but more from the POV of MK, who is the female character, because my editor is making me do that.
Very good. I love it.
You can put applause on that one because
Yes, please.
yeah, that's pretty. So
Very organized. I'm sure these research images have to be low res for Scrivener. Do they have to be low res? Is there a
no, I've dropped TIFFs in there. I don't know how it actually works. There is an export function, so when I export the images for the artist, I'm just going to render down as a PDF, right? I'm just going to go like, I'm going to render it down. Don't worry about the size of it. I don't really know how this software works or where it saves things, and I kind of don't care because at this point, what I'm primarily interested in is building this out. As you can see, it auto numbers. I know the page numbers. It's picked up the color. I was able to add my own custom labels, and I could say like, this is the inciting incident. Now, if I wanted this to be the inciting incident, and I was like, you know what, actually this is going to be the inciting incident, you can see that the color is automatically changed. And if I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to actually turn this into the escalation path, now I've changed it and I've gotten the colors, but it also shows up when I'm looking at the cards. So when I look at these cards, I'm able to also visually see. Now, I'm gonna do a quick switcheroo here, and I'm gonna see how well this works. But if I were to move this, and I'm gonna move Kickstart My Heart over here, and I'm gonna move this over here, right? Oops, it's a little hard to do. There's a function, and I'm gonna do it over here. I'm gonna move this, and I'm just gonna say that scene happens over here, and that just moved this. I'm gonna move this over here, and it just moved this, and it just reorders everything for you. I messed up the layout because you can do this custom layout. If I didn't have it in that kind of grid, you would see it a little bit easier. So you got to do a little bit of work to make the software work for you. But at the end of the day, this tool, to me, for the way I think, is super effective and super efficient. I'm cringing a little bit because this is my working copy and I just changed the order of my pages.
You're starting to
I'm starting to get a little like, how am I going to fix this? And I'm like, I didn't do a rollback. I didn't do a screenshot. So I probably should have saved as version 2B. But what do you guys think about what I'm showing you and the way we set this up? I'm going to set this back because I need to set this up the right way. Here's my setup, right, like this.
This is pretty impressive to me. But when you PDF this, how do people find like the images or the card layout, or is it just the script that comes through?
So you can export this as a Word document if you want. I'm going to be transparent. I'm going to tell you that, you're formatting, this uses a standard formatting bar. You're formatting and you're exporting and you're opening it up in Word. For all your best intentions, Word will still be Word. So I know that you're supposed to use the export and render function. I just copy each page and then just drop it in, because for me, I'd rather drop it in, text unformatted, and then reformat it. You know how we've done episodes where we do the the formatting and the indents and the bullets and I like to handle that myself. So I can export this as like just an unrendered, unformatted manuscript. I can render it as a PDF and it'll maintain this formatting, but because I'm a control freak, I still put it into Word, and that's the way people are going to use it. Like no one on my team has this document, or the software, so I'm just going to give it to them in the format that they're going to use it. And you can actually see that I believe that I actually embedded this in here. So I'm going to take this out of the embedding and put it back there, and there's the numbering. That's all you do when you need to reorder something. and you're looking at the whole layout like this.
I like the clean, non-fancy graphics of tabs, etc., almost like classic Windows from the 90s, which I love.
He does LUV it. And here's the caveat, and I'm going to be completely transparent with you. This, to us as writers, is a little bit like what Photoshop is to designers. You do have to learn it. You can open it up. There are ways that you can literally just open it up and start working. There are templates. There's even a comic book template, and there are folders, and there are character like they will guide you through it. You do need to do a little bit of commitment to find all of these like secret functions and labels, and here's your notes. I'm going to put in my notes area. I've got my establishing. I'm like, oh, this is the song that should be playing. And then I put in there my research. Like, remember I told you I've got this research. I'm like, this is what a fire stick looks like. And then somebody had said to me, well, how would somebody climb on a roof? I'm like, well,
there you go.
Here's what that looks like. So, by the way, this is out of the movie Death Proof. But there's tons of them. You can find people doing inadvisable things all over YouTube. But because this was out of an actual movie, I provided the artist with a link to the scene. But like, if that person just wants to just look at this, what I can do, and Mike, you had asked about this, I'm just going to export all of these different items in one shot as one large PDF.
Okay.
And I'm giving him my music playlist. Like, what songs should you be listening to when you're playing this? There's actually a scene in this literally called Kickstart My Heart. And there's a thing. Remember that time we said if we had to do something really stupid, we'd play the song Kickstart My Heart? What are you saying? Well, then cue the music. So literally, it is part of it. In order for the artist to really get into the groove, I'm like, here's the video to Kickstart My Heart.
How do you color the cards or pages?
So it gives you a lot of different ways to color things. So since I've already broken this, you can edit your labels, right? And I can just add a label, and I can just say, demo tag, and I can tag this scene, and then I can change the color and say, I'm going to make this beautiful green over here. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to change this to demo tag. And you've changed the colors. You've changed it also here. So when you're in the card, and then you just jump right in, and you're like, there I am. And then you're like, where am I again? Oh, okay, I'm over here. And I can, oh, sorry, you have to select the whole folder. But now you can see it's changed the color, and it's also changed the color here. So changing colors is super easy, but I'm like, okay, actually, I want to remember that this is the epilogue, boom, and the color's back. And that's it.
So,
I mean,
we didn't see it on the screen, but when you click on one of those setups or escalation, is there a color wheel below it?
yeah.
that you can select?
Oh yeah, this was this popped up. So I was able to just select a series of colors. Yeah, so there's a bunch of pop-ups. So because Scrivener is utilizing that window, there's a lot of different functions. Now, there's almost too many functions, and that is like Photoshop. When you get Photoshop, it's overwhelming. If lots of videos, but I've now become, this is my workflow. Now, the next thing, real quick before we get into the characters, do either of you have any questions, comments, or thoughts? Or do we have any questions from the...
I think everybody seems to be on board, that they like what they're seeing. And, some of them are talking about work process and inspiration. I've used song titles for chapter titles to set moods when writing, and we have a couple that are, playlists are
Do you guys
important.
use music to establish a scene?
It
Well,
depends for me.
Yeah, I don't usually have anything like picked out immediately, but when I start writing, I'll usually have something on in the background,
Hmm.
and sometimes I'll be like, oh, that'd be a good song for this, and then
Yeah, it depends. I feel like every time you ask me a question, I'm like, oh, it depends.
Well, but the thing that's helpful in this case is I'm telling the artist, this is what will get you in the mood for this particular scene, and you can see the one at the top, is literally part of the script. I'm like, MK says, remember when we said we were going to do something really stupid, we would play Kickstart My Heart? Yes. Cue the music, and you should have that in your head, and the artist should have that in his head. So let's move on to the character. So, this artist is brand new, and part of the challenge of setting this up is to make sure that it's easy for the artist to know what we're working on. So I'm like, okay, Rat is Tom Holland. Okay, that's the thumbnail version. MK is Sydney Sweeney, and Heartbreaker is Natalie Emmanuel. So I'm like, okay, let's just jump in here. And what I've done is I took my description from the original. Rat's early 27 to 30 something. He wears a leather jacket. He's average but interesting. He's usually in t-shirt and jeans and a mechanic shirt with the name Rat and an oval. Heavy work boots. He's the driver. He also wears driving gloves. Casting as Tom Holland. So you go over here and I literally have pictures of what that shirt would look like. And just make it easy. Why have the artist go and look for that? And this is how those shirts fit. So when Donnie drew it, Donnie knew exactly what I was going for in this particular run. And these were Donnie's initial headshots. He did a great job. This is all available in, my project. And then I'm like, okay, let's get into MK. MK, short for Mary Kate. She's about 25 to 28. She's cool and beautiful, but not in a sexualized way. She's got fabulous blonde hair, which is always pinned up. She's ponytailed or pigtailed or otherwise clipped back while they're driving. Because Deanna, as you know, when you're driving and you're in a car, what happens to your hair? It blows forward,
Yeah,
right?
ends up in your mouth.
Ends up in your mouth, right? So she might wear her hair down when she's out of the car, but in order to have some sort of truth to this, when she's driving and her job is to shoot, she's got her hair pinned back. And I needed that to be clear. So she's the mechanic and the shooter. She favors short and heavy shorts and heavy boots while working, otherwise barefoot, casting Sydney Sweeney. So this was Donnie's working version. She doesn't have her hair up. Obviously, there's a romance as part of Apocalypse Blvd. This was before I was working with Elisa Quitney, who said that the romance was okay.
She is a professional romance writer.
I want to be a good writer. She said it was okay, but she was in charge of making this better. So this doesn't look like Sydney Sweeney, but it's a point of reference for the artist. And then last primary character, Heartbreaker. She's the current leader of the Tri-State Valkyries. The Valkyries are an all-female fighting force that battle the Harpies using Jeep CJs with mounted guns. She's a tall, strong black woman around 35 to 38, former Army sergeant with a commanding presence, dresses like the other Valkyries with fatigues and a white tank top, casting as Natalie Emmanuel. And we see her here. But we also see a sense of what kind of Jeeps they drive, the perspective. We see that she is a tall, commanding presence, even next to Police Officer Joe, who's the lead in the story, but you can see her height difference. She's taller than Rat, she's taller than MK, but he is about 6'6", which I guess puts her a little bit over 6'1". So this helps the artist to know what they're looking for. By the way, when they kill a harpy, they chop off their wings, and then they wear their wings as trophies. If you're wondering why the Valkyries are wearing the wings, that's their trophies, and then they have these little straps and harnesses, and Heartbreaker's like, go and get your wings, and they wear their wings.
That's got to be pretty stinky after a while.
I would think so.
Is that what your takeaway?
That is my takeaway on that.
That's what you got out of that?
That's what I got out of that, yeah. After about a week of wearing them, they'd just be starting to rot and stink.
I'm with Mike. That's where my head goes to.
Who said they were wearing them for a week? They're wearing them as...
Well, they got harnesses and everything. It's not like, I got my wings, I'm going to stitch them in here and I'm going to wear them for an hour and then take it off.
I wonder about you, Mike, that you would think that they would continue to wear it for a week. I mean...
You never know.
It's not like they just keep them as trophies. I've seen
Mike's sneakers. It makes sense. All right, what does Redheaded Ed have to say?
I love that you can still take that kind of direction from trusted peeps. Writing women better is a cool goal. I agree. I agree.
I'm going to be documenting that in my Patreon. She's making me read romance novels.
Like, that's a good one.
Heartbreaker. Hey, hey.
Ah, nice. Is this a new person?
I don't know who
That
that
person?
is.
Who was that?
Overdrawn account? I don't know
Is
who
this,
that
This must be a Magic Twinkle. Welcome.
No, he's not a welcome. He's an old one who changed his name. I can't remember the last,
Well,
whatever.
Heartbreak. That it was a good comment.
It was.
Yes, yes.
Oh,
Now,
oh,
now,
uh-oh.
if you go back to
Look
your character page,
Teeth are a better choice, Buddy. Are the wings cured or taxidermied? I think
They're
They
they're
are
right.
hacked off, worn, and then thrown away.
well,
I'm not,
that's
oh,
what-
wait, here we go. I'm
That's
not
the
new.
answer.
I'm not new. I'm
yes,
drawn.
drawn
There we
sword.
go.
That's what it was. Drawn swords.
There we go.
Now, when you go back to your characters, if you wanted to add another character, would you just is there a button you can just click on and make a new one?
Yeah, you just
Okay.
right there and you go, and then
Wow.
you. Now, if I were using the template, there are templates. There are character bio templates that come up, but I already have my character bios set, so I go ahead and I just build my own the way I like to build them. But they will put the prompts in there, age and background and history. But yeah, it's that easy. And if I were, if I just wanted to add a little bit more research, I'd be like, let me just add another piece of research, and I'm going to just put tech, right? And then I'd just make a tech, and then I literally just drag and drop from your desktop, and you could just drag an image and drop it right in there. Let me just see if I can just copy, and I'll just show you. Paste, and there, it's that easy. And now it's just part of, I don't know how they do it, I don't even care, but
As
like
long as it works.
it just works, so what else have we done? Okay, so then we just have a stuff folder, and then I just have the facing pages. You could just jump right into this, and that I've just picked up off of the comicbookschool.com website, but I'll put it in there for everybody. So that's it. I mean, that's the demo.
I just noticed that the paper icon is empty if the tab is empty, but filled when there's content on said tab.
Yeah, there are all sorts of little visual cues. If this had nothing, all right. So watch what happens if you just have nothing, and I were to go nothing. It gives you some visual indicators that you can see the icon is slightly different.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing in there.
Right.
But if I put something, the icon changed. So there's a lot of visual cues. Once you start to use it, you start to find these little visual cues, and then you can also add like small notes. And I'm like, fire stick. It's also a fire safety stick, and my notes in here. I'm like, big finale, smoke. MK's heroic in the smoke. Does she succeed at her, at her mission? Those are the kinds of things that I'm putting in there, and I'm writing sometimes little bits of dialogue. But you can see, I've got everything's color coded.
It's a subscription.
Oh, this is the best. This is the best thing. You buy it once,
and that's it.
you download it to your desktop, and are you ready? Cue the applause. There's no AI. There's no AI. So this is a quick aside. It is a desktop application. Oh, thank you. There is a desktop application which I use. I don't have it next to me, but I also have a laptop. So I save this and back it up into Google Docs. You can back it up to anything, Dropbox or whatever. Then you can go to your other computer, just open it up and work from there. And it can also just back up, so I have 4 hard drives, including external hard drives. I'm backing it up to those hard drives, and you can back it up as a zip file. You can back it up as just, the complete structure. So if something goes wrong, it's always backed up, but it is a desktop application. You open it up, you turn off the world, you're not running through Chrome, you're not tempted to open anything up. You can actually capture entire web pages, you could drop links in there. There's all kinds of features. I use some of them, but to be honest with you, once I found my workflow, I stopped, messing around. I don't want to waste time messing around. I want to get down to the words on the page.
I have a couple of questions here. What's the dog ear icon?
Where's there a dog ear icon? It might be. Where's the dog ear icon? You mean the bookmark?
That's what I'm
Oh,
assuming.
so you can bookmark different projects. I'm going to show you what you do, but you can bookmark certain sections. You don't need it on a much larger, on a smaller project like this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask the two of you to chat amongst yourselves, and if intern wants to come on while I spool up the other one, I'm going to show you the much longer project. You guys, commentary is welcome.
Now, do you?
Okay.
Well, I was going to say, do you do the cards for everything? Because that layout to me looked pretty impressive. Because you know me, I just sit down and I write. But if I actually had index cards, at least on the screen, and I could put a little something in them, that would make.
They're made automatically.
So it automatically integrates whatever you put in the one
Yeah,
side, it populates the other.
Yeah, it just does it. Okay, so Mike knows about this. We have talked about this. This is a much larger project that is spec'd out at 81 pages. Can you see this?
No, make it big.
Say a big long list.
So what I'm showing you here is this is a much, much, much larger project for me. This will be a full graphic novel. And it tells me what the status is, keywords like who's the star of the scene. You can see where I have act breaks. I have location breaks, like where the location takes place. I've got them all color coded and organized. Now, does this take up some time to do? It absolutely does. But for a person like me, I work a full-time day job. I'm often working on more than one thing at the same time. I'm able to pick this up, get back into it, and be like, all right, this is where I am in the manuscript. Okay, where am I in the characters? All right. Okay, here's the character relations. Mike, remember when we did this? We had the character map. There's the character map. I've got all the different characters, and then I can go into each one of the characters. And this is where you use one of the templates. I use their template. Like, this is the character. This is the age. This is their role in the story. This is their goals. Remember I said you can do that? You can open up one of their templates. For the Apocalypse Blvd, it was already set. I didn't need this level. But for this, I really did need this for this one. This is, again, a much longer story that has to get taken down. 81 is too much. I got to get this down to like a 64-page graphic novel. So what I'm going to start to do is combine, but I can see where I am. This is an Act 2, and then this is an Act 2 subplot, right? And even as I pull through Act 3, that brings up Act 3 and the subplot. These are the characters that are featured in there. I can look at the different locations, and this is the only way that I'm able to keep control of all the different locations. So I'm like, oh, okay, this is the construction site. You can do it, but I've added some photos. I've got notes. I've got research. I've got the safe. I've got all the different things that I need. And anytime I open this up, I can just start working right away. And for the most part, it's very similar. The one that I was just showing you, I opened as a blank template. This one I opened as a template that you would use for a novel because I knew it was just going to be much bigger.
Mm-hmm. Compatible on iOS?
Yeah, it's funny. They have a Mac version, a PC version, and an iOS version, which I don't like. I don't know.
That's for like the phones and iPads and iPods and stuff.
Probably I would say probably more for the iPads.
Probably.
Yeah, the phone you wouldn't be able to see anything.
Yeah, because you could throw a keyboard on that.
Oh, so it's a separate though. So like a MacBook has one download, but if you're using a tablet, an Apple product that's not a laptop, there's a separate download. Is what
I
you're
think
saying.
so. And back to your point, like I have a Galaxy and it's attached. It's got a keyboard, so that's a very mobile device. They don't have an Android version, but they have an iOS version. But Apple's dramatically more popular and common, so it's fully interchangeable between all the platforms. So that was what we did. I mean, Mike and I talked a lot about, the sponsors that we would use and how we would work with our sponsors. And the real reason we went with this sponsor is because this is a tool I actually use.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for an iPad.
Yeah, there you go.
And you shall, and an iPad you shall have.
Is this the $15 file, buddy?
No, that's a good question. Hold on. So
Oh, with the knowledge, Red, they have actual different operating systems for tablets versus Mac computers. I did not know
Oh,
that.
interesting.
Look at that. Red-headed Ed always has the knowledge.
Redheaded Ed is usually my gut check on most things. So, $15 is the 4-issue mini series. What I'll be doing on Patreon in the next couple of months is I'll be posting progress of this particular story as I work through it, and I'll be posting the pages. What's more interesting is I'll be posting the art from the artist. I'll show that artist's character sketches. That'll be part of the paid tier. If you're interested in this sort of thing and you really want to see how I work and how I build, you'll be able to do that. You actually pull up my Patreon link as well. I think. So yeah, you'll be able to get the 4-issue miniseries, which, let's face it, I'll probably go to New York Comic Con, but I don't even think I'll have a table, and I'm not going to be walking around with stacks of comics. So if you want to read this, and I hope you do, you can get it off of Patreon. Like Deanna, I now have a shop button. Deanna's had a shop button and has been selling things left and right, and I got a little jealous that Deanna is like making money like it's coming down a conveyor belt.
Okay.
And you can see here, we have at Comic Book School, but you should also check out Deanna's stuff because she's worked really hard to put her store up, and I don't want it to just be the Buddy show. We know that Deanna's got some really good material that you should be checking out. So this material will be posted. Oh, Deanna. This material will be posted on my Patreon, all these screenshots, so you can take a look. You can download the software for free. I think you get a 30-day demo. But if you want to pull up the promo code, you get 20% off. I paid full price. I could have gotten 20% off. And then this is an example of the actual graphic showing how I block out Unmade Men, which is a full graphic novel. So I hope you guys like that.
Yes.
Very cool.
It's definitely something that I will check out.
You let's get down. Did you just commit to check out or use it? Did you?
I will definitely use it, because I did when you pulled up those cards. I was like, I like those cards the way they look. They're all laid out for me.
All right. So, is this a firm commitment?
This is a firm commitment. Yes, I will use it definitely.
Can you put the links in the chat?
Yeah, we'll have to put the links in the chat.
Absolutely.
I'll put them. Actually, I'll put them in the show notes at the end of the show. They'll be. I don't know if you guys know this. At the end of the show, you guys can comment, which is good for the algorithm. But then I update the show notes for, so it gets indexed in YouTube, and I'll put all the links in there with the promo code. Deanna, if we get you a free copy of this, will you use this, or will you just check it out?
I can see myself using this for a bigger project. I don't know if I would use this for any of my smaller things, like the smaller mini comics or 8-pagers. I feel like I have a pretty... For those it's such a smaller space. I don't know if I need all of those things. I don't need all those features. Do you know what I mean? But if I were to write a bigger graphic novel, or even just a full issue, like a 22-page, I might use this more.
Intern, would you use it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like pen and paper a lot, but yeah.
Pen and paper likes you a lot. All right. We're starting a new section. We're going to need some music. And to all the people out there who have graphic design skills, I'm not opposed to some help with graphic design. But we do have a new thing called Crime Files. This is specifically targeted at our crime writer, Deanna. I'm going to find a crime. I'm going to read it out to you and get your reaction. The headline grabs you. Hernando, murder suspect, admits, quote, he was tired of dealing with the victim, said the deputies. This is in Florida. A 24-year-old confessed to murdering a man because he was, quote, unquote, tired of dealing with him. And, who here hasn't been there at some point where you're like, I am just tired of dealing with this person? I don't know if murder is necessarily the
answer.
Good result. Maybe you could just be like, shut up. Deanna, what are your thoughts on today's crime story?
So I gotta tell you, I love a title that points out things like this, like tired of dealing with that. It draws me. I immediately click on that because I'm like, I need the story now. I need, what did this person do that was so heinous that they got murdered for it? But you know, we've all been like, oh, about somebody, but it's that fine line where in another universe you make that choice to murder, and then it's a different. Your life goes in a completely different tangent.
You know, I love funny crime.
Yeah.
Mike, what do you think of this this particular one?
I feel this way most of the time with most people. So I can understand it. That's why I stay in the house most of the time, so I don't go and do the murder thing.
I want to know what that. Does it say what that person did? Was it just like constantly like the dog was on his lawn? Like,
I think the guy was like they had a altercation of some sort. It wasn't very clear.
Yeah.
What I did notice that there was an update to it. Like I was like, oh, they updated it. I was looking for more information. There wasn't much, but he was tired. He was tired of dealing with him.
Some people are exhausting.
We got to find out the whole backstory because it
You
can't
do, and
one interaction.
nothing's going to top the meth-fueled body chopping where
She's my
she
favorite. She wins.
said, "What happened here?" And she answered, "That is a good
It's a
question.
great question.
Good question." All right, so we're going to need a better graphic than this, and we're going to probably need another graphic. Mike pretends that he's not on Facebook. Deanna, he is actually on Facebook, but he pretends not to be, and he will not friend you. He will not friend me, but he accidentally
Fresh.
slipped once, and he is on Facebook.
That's
And
it.
I love Facebook because Facebook has gotten so unhinged. And I love going into the Facebook marketplace. I sell comics, I buy comics, I get stuff. And I found the discovery of the week. Feel free, either of you, to react. This was posted in Facebook Marketplace. 50% off professional and affordable car detailing. They do note very generously, the original price is $99. And they said, we will come to you, and they even use that little icon that shows the car. They're like, just in case you were curious, we will come to you. You don't have to drive the Pulp Fiction car
What?
there. And I got to tell you, I didn't click send, but I was so tempted to go, is this still available? And I would imagine that this service is more or less available any hour of the day. Mike, Deanna, thoughts?
This is for the service to clean it, right?
It says
They're not
It's
giving
for
away this
detailing.
car. They're not selling that car with the way it is for 50%.
No, it's detailing. It's like,
Yeah,
like you get your car detailed. It's a little messy.
Right. So that's a great
It's a
graphic
war.
for that because
I mean-
if you can get that clean, then you can pretty much do anything.
They're
Yeah.
definitely hyping up their abilities. Like, look, we can get all this blood out of your murder scene. I mean, maybe they should work with the guy in the previous thing, the murder
That's true.
guy.
Yeah.
Right. They got tired. They were like, this guy was like, I'm tired of this.
I
And
need to
just-
clean up.
This car looks.
I didn't realize there was a tie-in, Deanna, but I appreciate your on-the-spot observation. And I just like
That's a lot of
love
blood.
their service-minded approach, which is we'll come to you.
I like that it's not even just if you go scroll down to the carpet on the floor, there's blood there too. Look.
Yeah.
That is a bloody scene.
So we're not entirely sure what happened. They were tired of cleaning. There you go.
Fair.
There's a callback for you. So, what do you guys think? Should I have a discovery of the week? Do you like my discovery this week?
These are funny.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. I think that's a good one.
That is
All
a
right,
one.
good. I aim to entertain. Intern's still there. He hasn't left yet.
Okay, good.
And speaking of weekly, the microphone is yours, Deanna.
Ooh. So tomorrow on Creator Corner we have Brendan Albetsky. I met Brendan up in the at the Danbury, Connecticut Comic-Con that I went to back in March. He was across from me, and we started chatting, and very cool stuff. Very unique art style, which is nice. It's he's got his own thing. A lot of good advice. Talks about how he works and how he makes this work, being an artist and being a full-time artist, and challenges and what he thought comics would be like and what it actually has turned out to be for him. And I love that question because everybody gives such distinct answers. There's a little bit of crossover, but it really does say you kind of are able nowadays to make your own path, which I think is really good for everybody to hear.
Now, if they watch this video on our channel tomorrow, what happens if they go over to here, Deanna?
Well, the YouTube channel only has a little snippet of it. It has about 4 minutes of Brendan's fantastic interview. But then if you go to the Patreon and you pay $1, you get to see the full interview, which is probably around 20 minutes. And you not only get his interview, but as a $1 subscriber, you get all of the episodes. And he's episode 18, I believe. So you would get every episode prior to this as well.
That's
If you only want his, you can just purchase his or anybody else that's on the list for $3.
Mike, how are the videos? How would you like this one, Mike?
This was a good one. I really enjoyed listening to Brendan talk about all his artwork and how he does it.
Yeah, he was good. He was a good interview.
I'd also like to point out, once again, the Creator Corner logo.
Redheaded
created by
Ed.
Redheaded Ed, who's right there in the chat. So if you're in there, you follow Redheaded Ed. Now, intern Stu has agreed to pick a comic each week and will present it to us, and each of us will give a ranking on 1 to 10 of what we think. Are you ready to go, Stu?
Yes.
All right, Stu. Do I have to mute Do you have to mute me?
Oh, it's like the voice of God.
Echo, yes.
Technical
Uh-oh.
difficulties.
I hear everything.
Did you guys hear? Oh, we can't hear Stu. Oh
Were they not able to hear us?
no. No, it sounds like Stu's mic was not.
Oh no.
So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, you can read Stu's recommendation. We're sorry we messed that up. Okay. So,
See you in the crime files.
thank you. Who would like to go first? Deanna, why don't you lead off? What would you rank this, and what were your thoughts on the intern's recommendation?
I actually wasn't sure how I would feel about this one. It's not something I would pick up on my own, but then I kind of got into it. It knew it was a comic book, I guess is the way to put it. The way that it was, the style of it, even the way the dialogue was, it felt very much like a comic book to me. And it wasn't like, and I hope this doesn't offend the person who created this, but it wasn't taking itself tremendously seriously in some spots, which I kind of liked. Like some of the dialogue was almost very like campy, which I thought fit with the art style and it fit with the whole vibe of the story. It was very much like Mega Ghost, and I kind of got into it. So I would say I'd give it like a 6.5, 7.
All right. And Michael, what was your ranking of Mega Ghost?
At first, I was like Deanna. I'm like, what's going on here? But then I got into it and started reading it, and I was like, this is very fun.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't take itself too seriously. It told a nice, fun story. It reminded me a little of kind of like Captain Planet, where they were combining some ghosts to create a mega ghost. And even though this was, I guess, somewhere in the middle, and I didn't know the backstory of how it all happened, this was just a fine jumping on point because you got enough of the backstory to know what was happening, and you got its own little story. So yeah, I would give this one an 8 out of 10. Really enjoyed it. Good job, Stu.
I don't think I'm the target audience for this one.
It's always 2 against 1.
Yeah, this is not a genre I would enjoy. I had to put myself into a different mindset, specifically that of a father who might be reading this to my kids. I don't think this is targeted toward my age group or to the genres that I generally enjoy. I'm not into the snarky fantasy, the Phil Foglio stuff, and that's not my. The Terry Pratchett material is not my my material. I feel like it would appeal to people who like that sort of storytelling, a funny fantasy, mixing genres. At the end of the day, I'm giving this a 5 because it didn't work for me. But I would say that I'm going to give it a 7 because, as I'm going to split the middle because I think to the target audience, I think they would have liked it. Like, I think my kids would have liked this. So I'm going to split it right in the middle and give it a 6 because it didn't speak to me, but I don't think it was intended for me.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys think that that's a fair assessment when we have to say, like, this was not intended for us, but the audience that likes this sort of thing would probably like it?
Well, I mean, you could say that the audience that would like it is obviously going to like it.
Right. You can say that about anything.
No, I
you know.
don't agree.
People like it, they're going to hate it.
Yeah, no, I mean, that you can say that about any genre or style of book. There is audience for everything, no matter what it is. So if you have a particular demographic that your book is geared toward, of course, that's going to appeal to that particular set of people. I wouldn't necessarily say this is my vibe either. I don't go out of my way to buy this, but I got into it because it ended up being fun. It was a fun book, and I saw the wink wink on some of the the dialogue, and it was a little campy and it was a little fun, and I think that was the purpose, and I think it met that purpose.
We're gonna have to fight this out because I can see it's 2 against 1 again.
It always is.
Here's where you're gonna have to wait. Hear me out. I'm gonna say, Deanna, that the point I'm gonna fight you on is that in a genre that you lean toward, be it funny fantasy, the comic may not be as representative or as good as something else, right? Like, so I like superhero comics, and then there's Watchmen. I like superhero comics, and then there's Grant Morrison's Superman. And then I like Superman comics, and then there's, pick whatever the worst Superman title is. There's a scale.
Sure.
So just because you like funny fantasy, again, a Terry Pratchett type of comic, hijinks, you might like this genre, but this particular comic may not be as good as something else in the genre. You know what I mean? Like, you would be attracted to the genre. So I'm saying, as somebody not attracted to the genre, I didn't enjoy it at all. But as a person who might be attracted to the genre, like my younger daughter, I think she would have given it like a 7.
Yeah, and I think there's good and bad in every genre, like you said. I think not every superhero, not every X-Men book, not every Superman book or Batman book is great. Some is utter crap, where others are fantastic. And the same thing with any of these other genres, whether it's a crime comic or fantasy, whatever it is. There's always good and there's always bad. Just because you like a genre doesn't necessarily you're going to make like that book in that genre. It could still suck.
But yeah, I'm just saying when we're giving our rankings on this, you should give it your ranking, not would other people like this genre. It's I thought this was fun. I'm going to give it an 8. It shouldn't be but maybe someone who really loves this stuff would give it a 4 because they don't. Right.
I'm rounding down back to a 5 then.
Yeah. Well, because like when we did the X-Men,
your version, bud. Don't give everybody's.
When we did the X-Men episode, I love X-Men. I have obviously I've talked about it before, but I was very vocal about the ones that I thought were utter garbage.
Oh yeah,
So it's like if you can love something and not love something in that genre.
And I'm very insecure. I need to be liked by everybody.
Would you like, maybe Stu needs to give you a hug. Maybe he needs to. Should he?
He's trapped behind that desk there.
Oh.
All right, here we go. We're gonna continue on. Good pick, 2 out of 3, and bad Stu. Thank you to our patrons. I hope you start to become a patron of the show, like Mark London, Matthew Gillifan, Redheaded Ed, Michael Giff, James McGill, and Eric J. Weber, because there will be stuff that you will pretty soon want to get access to, including this 8-page story that I am working on. So if you do join the Patreon, you'll be able to still get the free materials, all the slides and whatnot, and a whole bunch of other materials. But to get into the process of how I'm making this comic and be tracking it with me, you're gonna have to join. You're gonna have to sign up, and you're also gonna have to like, comment, and subscribe to this show. Why don't we cue the music, because I think it's time. Is it brought up enough? There we go. Like, comment, and subscribe. If you like this episode, you'll like all of the episodes. Be sure to watch every week, where we are here every Tuesday at 8 p.m. If you just turn on your YouTube, we'll be here talking about the craft and business of making comics. We hope we make making comics fun. And we will see you next Tuesday at 8 p.m. And as I said, making comics, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.